Hey Shoujo fans! Welcome to episode 9 of Shoujo Sundae. This week we'll be discussing episodes 25, 26, and an OVA, which are the final episodes of Maid Sama. Let's dig in.
私の心があらモードベイビー I make you more than happy けどゆっくりしようね Brain freeze ご注意できるかな Handle me 高すぎカロリー Sugar 以上甘い Feeling with you next to me baby おかわりね
Okay, so here is where we left off. It was Magical Maid's Day at Maid Latte, and Usui and Hinata were not shy about their all-out war against each other for Misaki's attention. Prompted by Aoi, Misaki really began to look inward and wonder just what or who Usui is to her. He showed her how he felt by scooping her into an embrace, and she didn't push him away. So, we're going into episode 25, titled Hinata, Misaki, and Usui. Here is our soft serve summary. Which, guys, warning, my summaries are really long this week. I got carried away because it was the last few episodes, so I didn't want to exclude many details. The episode opens with a flashback to Hinata's childhood, when Misaki was seeing him off at the train station before he moved away. He pretended he was okay with nobody seeing him off, but Misaki could tell he was sad and tried to cheer him up by giving him some candy. At school in the present day, the sports club boys cannot comprehend Hinata's feelings towards Misaki because they only see her as their demon school president. We get more flashbacks from Hinata's childhood at the farm, and it's clear he always kept Misaki in his mind and heart. He was actually popular in his old town and had many pursuers, but he kept that candy wrapper Misaki gave him at the train station in his pocket all the while. Meanwhile, Sakura and Shizuko tell Misaki to go to the Misaki High School Cultural Festival, where Yume Mishi attends. They're having a live performance, and Sakura insists that Kuga has changed. Misaki reluctantly agrees to go to protect Sakura, and Usui says he wants to go too. Blushing hard and unable to resist his puppy dog eyes, Misaki agrees to take him. At Maid Latte, Erika is playing the part of a fortune teller. She tells Hinata that his future with Misaki is akin to a deflated balloon. She tells Usui that he and Misaki have no future together. After work, Usui waits for Misaki, clearly upset about the fortunes from earlier. He rants and raves until Misaki blurts out, "So, are you going to leave me just because of that?" And Hinata overheard. And he was quite upset about it. At school the next day, Hinata puts on a brave face and helps Misaki clean up more mud tracked in by the sports club boys. Unfortunately, Hinata messed up when connecting a hose to a nearby sink because it broke loose and soaked the two of them. Usui suavely offers Misaki his shirt to cover up her now see-through blouse, and Hinata feels inferior. Usui barks at Hinata while he walks away, and, after they're gone, Hinata barks back, tears streaming down his face. Hinata recalls his friends from middle school warning him that Misaki might have a boyfriend by now, since they've been apart for so long. In the present day, he admits he's hurting, but decides to keep fighting for her. He'll wait until he has his chance. Misaki, Sakura, Shizuko, and Usui arrive at the Misaki Cultural Festival. Sakura and Shizuko get caught up in the crowd when Yume Mishi arrives on the scene, and they are separated from Misaki and Usui. They cannot meet back up with Misaki and Usui due to the crowd density. Shizuku tells them over the phone to enjoy the festival together. And that's our soft serve summary. It's more of like a hard scoop ice cream summary this week.
A hard scoop?
Yeah, it's a traditional ice cream summary this week.
It's okay, because it's almost the end, y'all, like, emotions.
I know! I can't believe we got here. Together, we all did it together.
Yes.
So, episode theme. Do you have any ideas for episode theme for this one?
I said, temper your expectations.
I really like that. I like that better than what I have. I have, 2 suggestions. So I have, number 1, if you love something, let it go.
Ooh.
I know. I know.
That was a good one.
Oh, thanks. For my second one, I have, you can't expect somebody to wait for you. If the timing is right, the timing is right. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah, I like both of yours.
Thank
Yes.
you. Poor Hinata, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there, yeah.
Do you have any sprinkles on top?
Alright, y'all.
Oh, wait, do we
No.
both have sprinkles on top for the first time in forever?
Oh, I said no.
Oh, I thought you said all right. I thought you were like, all right, guys. Like, I thought you were ready to go into something.
No.
I actually have sprinkles on top.
You have it. I said, alright, y'all, it's a disappointment.
Okay, I thought you were like about to go off and like sell us some magic or something.
No, but I will have some for this episode of Shoujo Sundae. I do. It's just not this particular episode of Maid Sama.
Mine was technically something I should have done last week, but the thought didn't occur to me for some reason. So I was thinking about it. The dogs, right?
Yes.
The dogs that represent Hinata and Usui.
Yeah.
So I have some thoughts about this, and I actually did a little bit of research.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks. Every now and then, I have the motivation to do a little extra. Today's one of those days. So, both Hinata and Usui follow Misaki around like puppies. And that's like the obvious interpretation. But I was looking at the dogs and I was thinking about maybe what the breeds could symbolize for each character, and it was really interesting what I found, in my opinion. So, it looked to me like Usui was a Doberman.
Yeah.
And I used Wikipedia. I know in 8th grade my teacher said never use Wikipedia, but guys, tonight we're using Wikipedia. So, according to Wikipedia, Dobermans are known to be intelligent, alert, and tenaciously loyal companions and guard dogs. They are generally considered to be loving and devoted companions. The Doberman is driven, strong, and sometimes stubborn. And that's Usui to a T.
It is.
With Hinata, I thought at a first glance, that his little pup was a Shiba Inu. So I went to that Wikipedia page, and in the opening paragraph, it was like, Shiba Inu are sometimes mistaken to be these other Japanese dog breeds, and one of them is called a Hokkaido. But before I get into that, I was reading the Shiba Inu page, and I'm like, I don't really know if this is Hinata. Maybe this is blowing my symbolism guesses out of the water. But when I read the Hokkaido page, I really felt like it was Hinata for sure. So, this breed is known for fidelity to its owner, bravery, and the ability to withstand the cold, among other traits. It has an innate sense of direction and smell, and can therefore return to its master no matter how great the distance. The Hokkaido is highly intelligent and, wait for it, food motivated.
Wow. Okay. That's him. That's him.
Right, it's him. So, that was my great discovery this week.
Wow. I think that's really great. I also would like to add onto your sprinkles on top to say that I think it's also, it could double for them being, from different places. Because since this is our final recap of Maid Sama, Uzui is mixed. So I think that it's even like more associated, like a Doberman being him and a Doberman being like a foreign dog versus Hinata being a more Japanese breed dog. Like, it makes sense.
Wow, it goes even deeper. See, that's so cool. See, I really appreciate stuff like that, because it's such a subtle touch that mostly only the people creating the thing will know what went into it, unless I guess you really know dog breeds. I'm a cat girl. I don't even know cat breeds like that, but so unless that's like your thing, you wouldn't realize just like how deep that went, and I love that touch so much. I mean, I guess that could segue right into Floats Your Boat. Like, I really love that kind of symbolism.
Yeah, me too.
Do you want to kick off with a Floats Your Boat?
So, Hinata's backstory is actually my banana split.
Oh.
But his version of Misaki in the beginning of the episode, I thought that was very cute. And so that's in my Floats Your Boat. How everybody was like seeing her. So once they saw that she was cleaning up after the sports team was like, oh, she looks like a devil. And then meanwhile, Hinata saw her and was just googly eyed. And she just looked like so nice, like his version of her, before they like tore him away and like ran away from her so that she didn't see them. So I thought that was very cute.
Yeah, I really liked seeing little glimpses of baby Misaki.
Yeah.
And further into her relationship with Hinata to actually establish them as having some chemistry, because at first it was harder to believe, and then it was kind of easier with each episode he was in. So it was just nice to see that bond between them.
Yeah.
And really get an understanding of how much she meant to him, because all this time, like, I knew that they were childhood friends, but I feel like it honestly took until this episode for me to really understand the depth of it.
Yeah. You know what? The reason why I even put it in my banana split wasn't that we didn't need the story. I just didn't like that we were getting it in the penultimate episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it was already enough that they introduced him at the end, but I felt that, like, seeing this retelling of their childhood and stuff, I think if they had introduced that closer to when he was first introduced into the series, then we probably would have gone easier on him.
Yeah, I know, I certainly would have.
Yeah, because it's like the way that he was introduced, it was hard to even take him seriously as like a rival.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so seeing this, it's like, oh, okay, I understand why he's a rival. I'm just annoyed that we're getting it in the penultimate episode, but it didn't annoy me enough to be like, I scream, you scream.
I mean, just to tack on to that, I just really thought it was sweet in a way, and actually, I guess I could have put this in my banana split, because it's kind of sad in a way, just the way that Hinata never forgot about Misaki.
Yeah.
There's just something about, like, again, as the romance girl, there's just something about that pining even in the back of your head when it's not something you're consciously thinking about or, like, acting on daily. Like, every now and then you'll be reminded of that person you never forgot.
Yeah.
And I guess because there was a time where I could relate to this very strongly, so I think that's what's really connected me to Hinata in this episode, just the way he kept that candy wrapper. A little weird, but I respect it. Like the way he kept the candy wrapper and just was always so sure he would come back to her.
Yeah.
Really kind of, that hit me in the feels.
It was nice to see how deeply she impacted his life. Like, we knew, like, okay, his parents passed away and she was there and he was able to cry about it. And we were able to just see a little bit more of, like, their relationship, which I thought it was nice. And I'll be honest, I don't remember the manga enough to know in particular if they exchanged letters. But that was something that I was thinking about while watching the backstory, because she, like, only realized who he was once he was on the tree and, like, falling down, you know? And I felt that it would be a little bit different if they kept in contact.
Like for him to maintain those feelings?
Yeah, because it's just like, for him to hold on to her like that, and that's something that I said in our last episode and stuff, I felt that it was unfair because, you know, Misaki just went on to live her life. So I feel it would be different for me if they kept communicating, like he wrote her letters, unless she like moved. But if they had that sort of contact between them, then I would feel he was a more legitimate rival of Uzui. So just seeing his backstory, it was a little bit sad for me, just because like, I see how she impacted you, but...
Yeah. Thinking now, I probably should have put that in Banana Split, the more I think about it, because it seemed like he was really popular, like with the ladies and stuff.
Right, yeah.
So it seems like, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he didn't want to move on, and that's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not. He had a brand new life. And he was popular and he had his set of friends. And his parents, like, they knew about his love for Misaki and everything. And so for me, it's just like, you not keeping contact with her. What did you expect?
Yeah, exactly. I keep making this joke to myself all the time. Like, oh no, it's the consequences of my actions.
Yes, yes. And I feel like that was him. But yeah, I guess we should get back to Floats Your Boat, though.
Yes, sorry, we veered off into Banana Split unexpectedly. Here's one. So, after Usui receives that unfortunate fortune from Erika, he's ranting outside of Maid Latte, and then Misaki blurts out, "What, are you just going to leave me because of that?" And Usui's face, the look of pure shock and love and happiness and relief that just came over him, and like just two different frames, that's what I gleamed. It was so cute. I just loved that moment so much.
I also just like that at that time he felt validated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it is connecting with her. Something else that I liked was I just thought that Erica's fortune telling was so funny.
Oh no, I have that in Banana Split.
Oh, really?
I do.
She was just pulling that stuff out of her ass. And, like, they, like, legitimately believed it. And I was just like, I think the incredulity to me that I just laughed because she was just saying anything. And I feel that at that point, part of it could also be as, like, a banana split. In that if you are pulling it out of your ass, why would you decide that Uzui and Misaki can't be together?
Right. Like, of all the people in the room, they're the two that could be together.
Right. They would be. And they're always around. And so if all you really have to do, and that's something Hanoka said earlier about Misaki, was that you would have to be able to, like, observe people to tell fortunes. You should just say they're together.
Right. That would be the easy thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it was just really foreshadowing for, like, what was going to happen in the manga, but we don't have a second season, so it's just like, why would you say it?
Right. As far as the fortune-telling stuff goes for me, like, the reason why it's in my banana split is 1,000% not that deep. I'm just kind of being a hard ass. Because I'm personally, like, this sounds like such a weird thing to say, like, out loud to people, but I'm personally really interested in the art of divination. So, just
I like tarot.
oracle and pendulum and tarot, and I've been wanting to try, like, crystal or water scrying, which is akin to what Erica was doing in, like, the crystal ball kind of thing. But oracle is, like, my main thing that I work with. So just sometimes seeing it portrayed as, like, moaning like a ghost is, like, people don't take it seriously. It's a spiritual thing, so it's a personal thing for the people who are into it.
Yeah.
Although, I have something that's kind of related but is a fun aside. I think that with Erica's characterization of, like, the fortune teller thing, I think they were taking cues from fraud mediums way back in the day. And I'm gonna quick I'm gonna quick shout out And That's Why We Drink podcast for teaching me the history about that, and that Harry Houdini spent a great deal of his time exposing fraud mediums, which is super cool.
It is.
Apparently, fun fact, and I learned this also from And That's Why We Drink podcast, there was one case about a woman who put substances, like, in her sleeves or, like, and literally up her dress to ooze out as ectoplasm to convince people she was really channeling the dead. Just absolutely wild stuff. But it's definitely not something crystal scrying will do to you.
I know she must have smelled rank.
Oh my god, especially, I mean, even just living back in the times, I can't remember what year, but it was probably already bad, so definitely not doing herself any favors.
I can only imagine, like, somebody, like, you know when something smells bad and then you just, like, get air freshener. It's just something equally bad, just also smelling at the same time.
It's just like when the air freshener mixes with the bad smell and it doesn't do anything and it's just even worse. Yeah.
Right. It's just like, oh, this is like shit with like a hint of
orchid.
Like, I don't want to. Yeah.
Oh my god, what happened to Floats Your Boat? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We've been doing this. Let's see. What else did I liked? So this is something that I noticed once they moved on to the school festival thing. First off, Sakura inviting Misaki to, like, the festival because Yume Meshi was playing. I loved Shizuku and Misaki's reaction to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To her visiting that guy after the way he treated her. That's how real friends react. Because you only have to do something wrong to my friend one time, and I'm always on the lookout, like, okay, you're about to be out the door.
Yeah, I was really happy with the way they handled that, because when she came up to them and was like, he's changed, I'm like, oh god, no. I doubt he did, and luckily, Misaki and Shizuku weren't buying it either.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, men lie, so...
I mean... From experience, yes.
They lie.
Oh, man.
I was just like, yes, look down at her. Like, the wrath of God is coming out of your eyes because you're not going to take this man's shit. Like, no. Yeah, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too, for sure. I have one floats your boat left, because I think I was just so caught up in, like, the episodes that I didn't write a whole lot, but I tried to make what I wrote down mean something.
Yeah.
I loved, not that this is really, like, deep or anything, but I really liked the moment where Usui super suavely offers Misaki his shirt because she was soaked.
Yeah.
Straight up in front of Hinata, like, this is how it's done. Because he had just completely blown up what he was trying to do by not screwing on the hose to the sink correctly.
Yeah.
And Usui's just like, watch me steal your girl. Like, it was so suave.
The thing is about that scene, it's sort of an added on, and I was legitimately dying. So, first off, he took off his shirt, and I was surprised he was wearing an undershirt. I was like, oh, you know, like, extra pheromones, like, bare-chested. I thought that was gonna happen, but it didn't.
Yeah, me too.
And then they're, like, walking away, and he turns and barks.
Yeah, the barking was a bit much.
I was just like, this is not real. Are you serious?
Yeah, this would never happen in real life.
And Hinata was crying, like legitimately crying, like this tear came down his face. And he barked back. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it, it was definitely, oh my god, what is the term? Suspension of disbelief. Yeah, it was definitely a suspension of disbelief moment because that's such an anime thing that would only happen in anime, so I just accepted it for what it was.
Right, because like the thing about it, if this was real life and Uzui just turned and just barked at somebody, Misaki would just be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Be like, I can literally take you nowhere. Please stop.
Right, like, I'll see you later and give you your shirt back later. Get away from me. Like, what if other people see me by this random barking man?
Right. It's like, do you really think I want to introduce a man who barks to my family?
Right, like, how do I explain that? Like, how did you meet? Like, oh, he helped me with his shirt and then he barked. But you know, I was glad he helped me with his shirt. Like, no, there's no way.
And that was the moment I realized I loved him. Like, Alright, I've derailed, I'm sorry. That's actually all my floats your boat and banana splits. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
Oh, we got an owie sighting.
We did!
But when they get to the festival, and then there's just a wave of people, and Misaki gets separated from Shizuku and Sakura. I just love the fact that Uzui, he did not get separated at all. Like, all of those people around the river of people, he was just like, no, I'm just by her. That's it.
Yeah, like, he made for sure he wasn't going anywhere. And I feel like he probably noticed immediately, just knowing Usui, he probably knew them getting separated by that many people meant him and Misaki got time together. So he was probably just so sure to stick by her.
Yeah, just determined.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I have some hot fudge.
Ooh, okay.
So, in Hinata's, like, backstory at the beginning, where his friends are, like, trying to help him temper his expectations, which that actually was part of my floats your boat, I just forgot, that they were just like, yeah, she could have a boyfriend, like, you don't know, like, keep that in mind. That particular part I liked. What I disliked was the insinuation that just because Misaki lives in the city, that she's promiscuous.
Oh, see, I have this in my I Scream, You Scream, because it's from the same scene. I was so stuck on them saying she might have a boyfriend unless she's a fugly pig by now. I think that was so fresh in my brain that I missed the other stuff they were insinuating about her. But please go on.
Yeah, and they didn't just keep it to just Misaki. They just said girls in general. Girls in general that live in the city, that, you know, like, the way things are. And then they, like, go and, like, whisper in his ears. And he's so embarrassed. He's like, no, Misaki's not like that. She's pure. She wouldn't do da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, living in a city doesn't make girls be promiscuous.
No.
And I feel like that's just a very negative representation on women. And for the penultimate episode, maybe we shouldn't do that shit, you know? Like,
Oh, right.
let's not.
Maybe we shouldn't even be commenting on how much a woman expresses her sexuality and if that's good or bad to you, because it doesn't matter because it's her private life.
It's her private life. So whether she's promiscuous or not, that's her private life. But then to just speculate that about somebody that you don't know anything about, I thought that was very disgusting of them. And then I also had in my hot fudge Hinata saying that he was going to just keep trying.
Yeah, that's also also in my I Scream, You Scream. Yeah, 1000% with you there. It's not healthy.
It's not. Like, I think it would be one thing if he saw it and then he was like disappointed and sad and just like, okay, well, I gotta finish out the rest of my high school years here or whatever. But I feel like if you can already tell that Misaki has feelings for someone else, to then say you're going to like keep trying, I think that that's very insidious. So soapbox moment, because this just reminds me of situations where it's possible for girls and boys to be friends, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are like boys that will befriend a girl because she doesn't see him in that light, and then just sort of wait until something goes bad for her or whatever to then try to coerce her into a romantic relationship with them. And that's very predatory. And I don't like the idea, like, okay, we're learning so much about who Hinata is and his family and his friends. And for him to say he's just going to keep trying, it just reminded me of like that behavior. And that's really toxic.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that Hinata isn't like that,
Yeah.
only being her friend for that reason, because they started off as friends, and I guess he just grew these feelings he could never get rid of. And as someone who I have had feelings for people in relationships before, and it's not something you can really control.
Yeah.
You just have to live your life and hope it goes away, but you have to hope it goes away and try not to feed into it, and he's not doing that. And it's just, the only word I have for it, I keep saying it's unhealthy, it's just so unhealthy, and it's so unproductive.
Yeah, I feel like to be so dedicated to a childhood crush, I think that that's really too much to bear. Now, it's nice to see somebody like Misaki and see her good qualities.
Yeah.
But if he truly likes Misaki, then he's going to like her choices. And if she chose him, he would know it.
Yes. Yes.
So that was my hot fudge.
So we touched on 2 of my 3 I Scream, You Scream, so I just have one. And it's that the boys of Seika High School, their image of Misaki is still so twisted.
Ooh, girl, same. That was my ice cream, you scream.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah.
The sports club boys envision her as a literal image of a 4-armed demon with a dark aura and a snake's tongue. How has their image of her not improved at all throughout the entire series? She let them have their combat cosplay cafe, right?
Yeah.
And she went to bat for those other boys with Miyabiga-oka.
Yeah.
Making a ton of sacrifices that day and putting herself in a lot of danger. And her job in a lot of danger. I mean, they don't know that, but they know that she defended them. And she's always looking out for their best interests. I just don't understand how that is still the image they have of her.
The thing about it for me is Miyabiga-oka, that was such a terrible... She quite literally almost got raped when she went there. Now, I know that's not, we aren't really getting into, but that almost happened to her at that school. And meanwhile, everyone else thought that she was being recruited there. So then Sakura and Shizuku got a bunch of students, including guys. It wasn't just like our 3 goons. Like a bunch of students to go over there to convince her to not leave.
Yeah.
So how you can have like this level of progress, right? Like 1 step forward, 10 steps back. It is insane to me that it's like they're still bad-mouthing her, knowing all of the stuff that she's like done to make the school more successful, to make it better. The way that she even takes care of people, because all of the work that she does and that student council do is work that the faculty should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, for this episode, like we had to bring up the lack of faculty like one last time, y'all.
Of course
like,
we do. Yeah.
The lack of faculty. So she is like literally taking care of these people as if she's their mother. And to see her as a demon, it's just such a disservice. And I'll also say in connection with that, because part of my Ice Cream You Scream was also connected to Hinata in the sense that these people around you are bad-mouthing her. And his retort is just to say that she's Misaki senpai, whatever. And like, that's part of her charm. Like, and they're literally bad-mouthing her. And for me, it's just like, okay, if you really like her, why would you let people state such opinions around you and then they think it's okay?
Right. Why not defend her more?
Right. Because it's just like, okay, you know all of these positive aspects of Misaki. So this is the time to start voicing them or to even talk about like, I know he hasn't been at the school that that long, but he could talk about all the stuff that she like does. He doesn't even have to get into her part-time work. All the stuff she does as student council president to support them. And so that they shouldn't be acting like that with her. And instead he just lets them say these things and just is like, I like her anyway. And it's like, no, like, I think if he really liked her, which I feel like this could technically also go towards Uzui as well, because because Uzui is a jealous type, so he'd rather have people bad-mouthing her and not see her good qualities because it keeps her to himself.
Right. Which is, in itself. That kind of sucks, Usui.
It does. Because it's just like, you're just going to let people think of her that way?
Yeah.
For your own benefit?
Ew. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, so it's just like, for me, like, Hinata, like, this is the time to say, like, this is what she's done for me, this is what she does for the school. Just labeling it as, well, she's Misaki-senpai, and I'm gonna like her anyway. I didn't like that. And the fact that they even labeled him as a masochist, and it's like, no, he's not a masochist. She's a very good person.
Yeah, she's lovely and extremely likable.
Yeah.
They just don't like being told what to do. I guess boys will be boys, and I hate it so much. Writers, please.
Hate it too.
All right. Anything else for Ice Cream You Scream?
Hanoka should be fired. I don't like her attitude. It's like, it's the 25th episode, and you're just like, oh, well, Misaki's not good at observing people, and she's damn good at, like, everything the F else. So, how about you don't badmouth your coworkers?
Right. I thought it was kind of a funny comment.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she is kind of the worst. Are we ready to move on to episode 26?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, here we are. Episode 26. You're really sly, Ayuzawa. Usui, you idiot. Here is our traditional ice cream scoop, hard scoop summary. Usui and Misaki wander the festival. Usui is just so attractive and popular that simply walking through a crowd gets him decked out in festival attire and carrying food by the time he makes it out of the other side. Misaki is clearly feeling nervous, like she's on a real date with Usui. While walking, they stumble on a love trial, where couples have to complete tasks while holding hands. The prize is a premium ticket to the festival after party. Usui wants to do it, because he wants to see if romance is possible between them, despite Erika's fortune in the last episode. Just for entering, they receive a heart necklace, which Usui sweetly clasps around Misaki's neck. Meanwhile, Sakura and Shizuko are stuck watching a bunch of boring opening acts while waiting for Yume Mishi to come on stage. Shizuko is extremely bothered by the inconvenience. So, Usui and Misaki join hands to begin the love trial. One of them has to quickly finish a bowl of ramen while the other feeds them. After a quick round of rock, paper, scissors, Misaki ended up being the one eating. They're doing so well in the trial that the festival goers gossip about how unbelievably good they're doing. The last part of the trial is to find a balloon in a pit with the word lucky written on it, and Misaki finds it almost immediately. Usui hugs Misaki close with the balloon between them to burst it. Meanwhile, Shizuko rants at Sakura about not liking Kuga, and Sakura explains how much he's changed and how she admires the way he chases his dreams. Usui and Misaki finish the trial, and she gets sad as she lets go of his hand. Meanwhile, Yume Mishi finally takes the stage. Misaki and Usui still can't reach Sakura and Shizuko through the crowd. After getting bumped around by the crowd, Usui extends his hand to Misaki to hold so they don't get separated. After the show, Shizuko and a very starstruck Sakura call Misaki and tell her that they're going to stroll the festival with Yume Mishi. Misaki sees Kuga on his way to meet Sakura, and she is rightfully hard on him after the last time they saw one another. But Kuga tells her that Sakura is the only person who sees him for who he is. He makes an offhand remark about Usui being Misaki's boyfriend, which she denies. Kuga retorts, "Wait, don't tell me he's still enduring it." And this really affects Misaki. After Kuga leaves, Usui meets back up with Misaki, who is very distracted after Kuga's remark. She invites Usui to spend the rest of the festival with her, even though she's accomplished what she came to do, protect Sakura. They had a premium ticket to the after party, so they use it. Misaki gets all dressed up like Juliet, and Usui is dressed as Romeo. They go to an empty classroom to watch the fireworks display. Misaki asks Usui if he's enduring things for her. Usui says he'll tell her if she answers a question. Why is she so bothered by him? She admits to not knowing it even herself, but Usui calls her out for lying. He sees her blushing. He sees she's nervous. He asks if she's enduring things as well. To save face, He pats her on the head and says he's crossed a line and goes to walk away. Misaki quickly grabs his hand and admits she's been enduring things too. "Why must it be you? I don't get it," she says. The love trial opened her eyes. She realized she wanted to hold his hand a long time ago. They share a kiss as the fireworks burst outside the window and the bonfire burns. Usui tells Misaki, "I love you," and she returns with, "I hate you." So, episode themes. What you got, Chika?
So I would say, I made their flowers bloom.
Oh, I love that. Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah, because Uzui says that because those girls at the festival were following him. And when Misaki asked him about it, he said that I made their flowers bloom. And I thought about it. I was just like, but actually, he really helped Misaki bloom.
He really did.
From being this girl that hated guys, and now she's like sharing food with him, and she has a better rapport with people. She gives people the benefit of the doubt now. I feel that he really made her bloom. Yeah, so that was my sprinkle on top.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. So I have just, sometimes you need a little push to realize your true feelings.
Oh, wait, were we talking about the theme and not sprinkle on top? Wait.
Oh yeah, I think I said theme. Either way, it's all kind of the same thing to me.
Right. It's sort of both.
Theme could be included in sprinkles on top, because I don't have any other sprinkles on top.
Right, yeah. So I thought, the other sprinkle on top, but it is legitimately sprinkle on top, is Romeo and Juliet. And so I say that because I read the manga. So, there is a happily ever after, y'all. So don't think like I'm trying to lead Giana astray to be like, they don't get together. They do get together. But there is an obstacle, and I feel like Erica foreshadowed that in the previous episode. It's just kind of weird because you don't get to actually see it at the end of the series. But I liked that for the end, like, you see them get dressed up as, like, Romeo and Juliet, and then that's when they, like, sort of share their first kiss. It's not really a balcony, but it's sort of the window ledge area. It made sense at the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually, as I was thinking about the episode, I struggled to see the connection between Romeo and Juliet and Misaki and Usui. I know that Misaki and Usui were technically an enemies to lovers trope in a way.
Yeah.
And that's what Romeo and Juliet are, but it's not that they were personally enemies to lovers, it's that their families were enemies and they were lovers. So it just kind of felt a little convoluted to me personally, but I'm sorry that I'm such a hard ass, guys.
No, it's fine. It's just like, I think, from what I remember in the manga, spoiler alert, guys, but we're on the last episode, man. So, if we had gotten a second season, maybe we would have seen Uzui's story and we wouldn't be dependent on the ending song to see what his life was like. But his family, they don't like Misaki.
Oh, that's interesting. That adds a layer.
Yeah, so they don't like Misaki and stuff. And Misaki being Misaki's like, I'm going to prove myself. And so it's a little more truer to Romeo and Juliet. I would just say that Misaki's family is chill. So in that regard, it's not exactly the same because Misaki's family like Uzui, but it's not the same the other way around.
So there's a little bit more of a connection that way.
Yeah, there's more of a connection that way, yeah.
Well, that's neat. So for Floats Your Boat, as a very quick Floats Your Boat, I liked seeing all the last episode obligatory cameos. We saw Yukimura, Kano, we even saw the Cram School and Suzuna. It was nice to see all them pop in.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. I thought it was so cute when Misaki ate part of Uzui's, like, dango that he got.
Yeah.
She didn't just take it from him, she ate it. I was like, yes.
Yeah. I feel like that, like, specific scene or, like, trope is something I've seen so many times, but it hits every time.
Yeah, it does.
That reluctant bite and then, like, frustrated looking away and blushing. So cute.
Yeah.
So every single thing about the love trial was a win for me. The shoujo shenanigans were top notch. The very second they were stopped in the hallway and the students were like, "You two, love trial," I just got a huge smile on my face. It was just so ridiculous in the best way. It's exactly the shoujo antics that I appreciate the most. Just like, crank it up to 11, put it in the lead's faces, put it in our faces, let's build up to a big confession. I just loved all of that energy.
I loved it too. I also just loved how Uzui activated her.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't even trying to do it, and then he turned on her competitive streak, and then it went nuts afterwards. They were winning everything. They got called like the superhuman tag team. I was like, yes, this is what I love in shoujo. Like, stuff like this is like, yes, okay, yes, he's feeding you. Yes, you're beating everybody and doing all of these cute things. Like this is just what we needed.
Absolutely. And just as our cinnamon roll, Yukimura put it, they're the golden combination.
Yes.
And they still took the time to tease each other. They were just fully themselves in that moment, and it just felt so good to feel like, for once, sort of in the whole series, neither one of them was holding back.
Yeah. I loved seeing that.
I love that they got a necklace just for participating. That's just such a sweet touch from the cultural festival.
And he put it on her. I was like, yes, put it on her.
Oh, yes, push that hair away gently. Like,
Mm-hmm.
any more floats your boat? I just have one super insignificant other thing.
I liked how Shizuku was happy, seeing Sakura happy while Yume Meshi was playing.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing as a friend to like see your friend be so passionate and so happy about something because you just want their happiness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, like I'm glad to like witness it, even though like Shizuku was so annoyed and gave her like a 2-hour lecture.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just loved how like once she was happy, then Shizuku was just happy to see it.
It's nice to see Shizuko supporting Sakura, especially after the last time Yume Meshi was involved, and neither me nor you liked the way Shizuko handled that situation. So while she did rant at Sakura, it did feel pretty warranted. She could have like cranked it down a couple notches, but
Yeah.
it was just nice to see her support her in her own way.
Yeah. I just prefer her giving her a lecture than her just being quiet.
Yes, 1000%.
Yeah.
So we did get a spotting of our 3 idiots for the last episode.
Yes, our blobs.
Our blobs, they're in, I called it muck form from like Pokemon.
Yes.
They're all just transformed into these little blobs of muck at the cafe, wondering why Misaki took off, and they were wishing she was there to serve them. But what is it, Satsuki and like Erika? I forget which ones serve a drink to them, and they just break the fourth wall. Like, how are we going to drink this if we don't transform back? But they don't know how to transform back.
I love that.
I just loved it. I loved it so much.
I liked their Romeo and Juliet outfits. I thought they were really cute. I liked the way that like her hair was styled, because that's something that they kept from the manga. And to be honest, I hated Misaki's hair when I was reading. Like, I just wanted it like, I wanted more. I don't know. So like the times like when you would see, you know, like the colored pages or like you would see it styled in different ways, I would just be like, yes, this is for me. So like seeing her hair be different, I liked that. And then also the confession, although there is part of it I didn't like, but the confession was so cute.
It was very cute. I don't want to say too much because I have some hot fudge around this.
Same.
But I really loved seeing her finally, and you could see how hard it was for her, like on her face.
Yeah.
Finally let that wall down and let him in.
Yeah. I was glad that, you know, like first she had to register the fact that he was enduring her the way that she was.
Yeah.
And then she was able to like sort of rise to meet that, to say that she was also enduring. She just didn't really realize she was. And so instead of just saying that she liked him, she just talked about all of the symptoms basically that you have when you like somebody. She was just listing all of that stuff. And at first he didn't get it until he finally got it. Like, it was like, yes.
Do you get physical, this is a personal question, you don't have to answer if you don't want, but do you get physical symptoms when you like somebody? Because I do, and it sucks.
Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. So I'm black. and I blush. You just can't see it.
Oh.
But it's just like, I get like really like smiley. So if I'm by somebody that I like, I'm excessively smiley.
That's cute.
Yeah, so I feel like I just get excessively like smiley. I think there was one point where I could like tell if my crush was in the same room as me. It's very weird.
Like a
I
sixth
think the last
sense
time I
kinda way?
experienced it. Yeah, I got the feeling and then I would like turn and look around and I'd see my crush. It's like, oh, I knew it. Which is very weird.
I do have to say, the way the energy shifts in a room when someone you have a crush on walks in is wild. It's palpable.
Yeah, and it's not as if I went out looking for it, guys. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's like I was a little touched or something. I don't know. I wouldn't have to even be looking at them, and I would turn and it's like they're there. And it's like, I knew it.
I knew it.
Like, what is this?
See, with me, I completely lose my appetite. And there have been times where, like, I wasn't sure if I liked somebody. And then I'd realize I couldn't eat at all that day. And then I'm like, well, why couldn't... And I check off, like, I go down the list. I've drank enough water, you know, blah, 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 getting enough sleep. Oh shit, I have a crush on this person. Well, this is great. Now that I know it, can I eat now? Like,
Right. And like the thing is, like when you go on dates and then you have to eat, like I always ordered appetizers because I was just like a full meal. First of all, I don't know if I'm that comfortable eating for real, but at the same time, it's like you're just like nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I could eat something small, but like a real meal for real, I don't know.
Right. I feel like in that way, coffee dates are perfect because you can just get whatever. It doesn't have to be coffee off the menu. You can even just get like a tea that would be good for your stomach and then like a little pastry and everybody's fine. Nobody has to eat too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry to derail. Any more floats your boats?
Nope.
Into banana split then?
Yes.
So, Kuga's improvements. It's nice to see Kuga have some character development. I certainly didn't expect Yume Meshi to come back into the show at all after that horrible last episode.
Right.
It seems like he's grown to appreciate and maybe even like Sakura, except a fan and famous person dynamic is super tricky. Like that power imbalance.
Yeah, the power imbalance.
Yeah, it could really lead to an unhealthy relationship, especially knowing how Kuga could be. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Right, like the thing about it for me, I don't even think he changed.
Right.
If he changed, it's just that he stopped trying to take advantage of his fans.
Which is not much of an improvement.
It's not, because he was just like, oh, Sakura sees me for who I am. But it's like, you weren't that. Like, the way she sees him.
Yeah.
That is not how that man is. He just wants to believe that. And I guess him getting like, I don't know what type of accident happened where it's like, you know, his arms and his legs are wrapped like that. But I think he grew more of a fondness for her for being there when he's going through something that was that traumatic. But him legitimately liking her, I don't believe in it.
Yeah, it's really difficult for me to know what to believe with this because I so deeply want to believe that people can change for the better and think the best for him and give him the benefit of the doubt, but I just don't know. I don't trust it.
I don't trust it either. So that was in my banana split too.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any others? I don't have any others.
I think it was about Hinata. It's just that you can clearly see that Misaki likes Uzui, but I'm not against Hinata either. Maybe that's more of like a writing thing versus it being like a show thing. I think at the very end, like, yes, she like confesses and stuff, but I feel like I should feel more hands down about it. Like, it's just Uzui, like no one else. And the backstory in the last episode threw me off.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. And I actually, believe it or not, despite what I said last week, after more backstory, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, now that Hinata's entire role in the show is in I eat stuff and say stupid stuff, he seems like a really good guy.
Yeah.
And he genuinely cares about Misaki. And I don't think he would go to the extremes that Usui goes to.
Yeah. He's like he is a healthier love interest.
Yeah.
In comparison to Uzui. Because Uzui will manipulate the situation to get what he wants. And Hinata is just straightforward. He's not possessive the way Uzui is. And even though, in my hot fudge for the last episode, I was talking about the fact that Hinata could have done more in talking about Misaki's good points, he still sort of said something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can slightly give him that. Uzui's not trying to change people's opinions of her. Like I said earlier, he's not trying to change people's opinions of her because he wants her to himself. And that's problematic. And I think that I think the anime in general just sort of did a disservice to Uzui and not being able to bring in his backstory and not really show how he has personally developed, because we were able to see Misaki's character development. And Uzui's character development, I don't really feel like he developed as much. I just feel like he started getting what he wanted.
I agree. We got more of a backstory for the third person they just want to add in for the love triangle at the end than we did for the main love interest.
Yeah, right. We only have the end credit song visuals to see what his life was like when he was growing up.
Right, and to be honest, who actually really sits there and thoroughly watches the ending song when you can click to the next episode?
Right, I only did it because it was the end, y'all.
Right,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
What a situation.
Yeah.
It makes me want to read the manga, but
I'll send it to you.
a bitch has not the time.
It just depends. It depends on It depends on right stuff anime, y'all. I'll tweet it out. Y'all will know. I wonder which episode we'll see if by the time all of our episodes of Maid Sama recaps are out, that if I actually have it by then. I'll tweet if I have it by then. If not, y'all will see when I tweet that I got it. To be honest, I would say, and I know that we're sort of going off on a tangent, I would say that I would love for Maid Sama to get a fruits basket treatment.
Oh, that would really be cool.
Yeah, in this day and age, they would have to clean all of that, the owie stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
The problematic gender stuff, they clean all of that up.
I would really love to see how that was handled.
Yeah, it would be a much better series. And I think that it doesn't have to be necessarily as long. I think 2 seasons would be good, but having it have a fruits basket treatment, I would be interested in that.
I certainly would too.
Yeah. Do you have any hot fudge?
Yeah, I do. It's like burning hot fudge.
Scalding.
It's scalding, yeah. I just worry because I know that Maid Sama is a beloved shoujo show, and we haven't shown it a lot of mercy, and I'm not about to do that right now, and I feel really bad.
It's better for us to be honest.
It's way better to be honest, yeah. I don't think that the moment Misaki and Usui got together had a good enough payoff for the wait and all the tension that we felt throughout the series.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like Misaki has even fully accepted her feelings. She leaned into them, but it still felt in that confession moment like there was teeth being pulled. And that there's just going to still be a wall between them. And she might even still try to push him away. The day after the festival when she sees him at school or whatever. I can't currently picture Misaki being affectionate with Usui without feeling like she's fighting something within herself.
Right. And the thing about it for me is that the fact that it took, and I think I said this in our last episode, but it would have been better if they knew they were going to just make it 1 season to have half of it be about Misaki and the other half be about Uzui, because the payoff really comes during Uzui's arc in the series.
Oh.
Yeah. So the thing is, what really activates Misaki's feelings for Uzui and her being firm about it is when he gets taken away.
Oh?
Yeah. So he goes back to his family, by force. Not that he wanted to, or maybe it was sort of a mix. I can't all the way remember, but still. So he has to go back to his family, and like I said, he's mixed and stuff. And so his family lives in England.
Oh.
And so it's at that point that Misaki truly realizes her feelings for him, because it's you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Right.
And his family already doesn't like her and stuff like that. And so I felt that because we don't have Uzui's development, this ending is very unsatisfying because it pissed me off that he's not even I like you. He says he loves her and she says, I hate you. And I was just like, I'm about to come through this damn screen.
That was literally same. I'm like, she didn't really. Did she really? Like, is that supposed to be, we're supposed to go aw to that? Like, fuck no.
Girl, I swear to God, ooh, you're lucky I can't literally break the fourth wall and get up into this anime. That pissed me off. And I think the only reason that it did is because we had 26 episodes. You just can't say I like you back.
Right. Like, you just said that you wanted to join hands with him long ago. You could say that, but you can't say I like you. There's way fewer words in I like you than I wish I could join hands with you a long time ago.
Right. And it's just like, even if you can't say the words, you can like show affection.
Yeah.
I would much rather her have not said anything, but like went to go hold his hands or like pull him closer or whatever else. But her just being like, oh, blushing like I hate you. Ooh, it pissed me off.
Like, how great would it have been if she couldn't say those words because communicating that was hard for her, if she just herself initiated and pulled him in for a second kiss.
Yes.
That would have been fantastic.
Perfect. It would have been perfect, especially knowing that we aren't going to get a second season. It would have been perfect. But no, I hate you. Like, oh, the writers, I'm telling y'all are on my list.
And it's not the Hall & Oates list.
Yes.
If anybody's like old enough to get that, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Whoo, child, I hate you. Girl, I hate you too. Damn. Oh, y'all got me. And then another aside before I get to my other hot fudge, because I have another one.
Ooh, okay.
People, if anyone has a negative reaction to our recap of Maid Sama.
Oh no, what's this?
Once y'all get to your big age, right? Because we're at big ages. I am 29, okay? I am closer to seeing the sunset than... anyway, I am older. So watching this in my adult body, because I read the manga when I was like middle school, high school and stuff. So that's where my nostalgia for the series comes from, along with like the theme song is from that. But as a grown woman, seeing the antics that ensue within this series, and it's just like, that's a little toxic. I don't really like this. Y'all wouldn't like it either. So I encourage you guys to go and rewatch it because I bet you would be agreeing with a lot of our points. And I would say a good example of this, it's just we're a bit less academic, is if you guys listen to the Chatty AF podcast. That's the Anime Feminist podcast. So one of my favorite shoujo series, and it's just like, I love it even though it's a lot, it's very melodramatic, is Fushigi Yugi. And Chatty AF eviscerated Fushigi Yugi. They did not leave anything on the table. Y'all knew all of the stuff that they liked, what they didn't like, which there were lots of things that they didn't like. And as a grown adult, I thought it was warranted. I agreed with their points. So I hope that you guys also take that and take that mindset when you're reacting to us. Then it's just like, well, yeah, that's true. Like, I want you guys to keep that in mind.
Yeah, and everything's subjective based on our own life experiences and your life experiences. We just want to watch anime and talk about it and then talk to you about it after the show on social media and in our email and stuff. So it's all fun here. We get really hype about some stuff, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah, it is. My last hot fudge is, the show ends, they're playing Uzui's ending song, where you see his background, but then they cut into it, right? And then you get to see what all of the side characters are doing. So, what I And we've been saying this since episode 2. Why the fuck did Aoi get thrown out of his fucking house again on the very last episode?
Oh my god.
In the end credits? Y'all thought I wasn't gonna see that shit. I saw it. Okay, me and the writers, we finna have words. Because I don't understand why you just have to keep reiterating that this child that is part of the LGBTQIA plus community is continuously thrown out. And Aoi is a minor. Continuously thrown out. I don't know if Japan has CPS, but I'm telling you, I would call it, because you can't just throw your child out because you're mad at them. Why would you even have a child?
Right.
What is the point?
Just outright child neglect.
Right. Neglect. Endangerment. If you are having children, you better accept your child however the hell they are. And if you can't accept your child however they could be, then don't have kids.
Yeah. No, truly. I know we touched on some of this in, I think, Shoujo Sundae episode 2, but like, just being kicked out for your identity isn't a punchline. And I hate that it's just repeatedly being used as one.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I don't like that. It's never funny.
No.
It's never funny. Like, just like in the beach episode when Nagisa took Aoi's wig off, that wasn't funny. I don't like that. And I feel like this is something that would definitely benefit from a redo. If they decided to redo Maid Sama, is to clean that shit up. Because now, that would be a war. You can't do that. And that's not to say that that type of thing doesn't happen, but that shit's not funny.
Yeah, I would be extremely interested, like, above all else, even the main love story, to see a fruits basket-ified Maid Sama for Aoi's storyline alone.
Yeah, because they deserve it. They deserve to have love. And even if they redo it and there's conflict, I feel like there's ways to show that where it's literally not an example of child endangerment.
Yeah, and even if at some point they run away from home briefly, maybe everyone isn't going to constantly misgender them and try to force masculine stereotypes on them all the time.
Yeah.
But I think that's that on that, if you want to go into Ice Cream You Scream.
No, I didn't even have Ice Cream You Scream. I just had Hot Fudge.
Oh, just a bunch of hot fudge. I have 2 very light and silly Ice Cream You Screams. So, Usui can't walk through a festival without coming out of the crowd on the other side, like all covered in stuff with free food and crowds of girls wondering where he walked off to. I'm sorry, but literally no one is that hot.
Right, nobody's that hot. I'm not gonna just start following a random man.
No.
I'm a woman, y'all. I mean, let me not. I've been bringing too much reality into this last episode. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. As a woman, I'm not accepting random food from a stranger.
No. Oh my god, no. Wait, I don't want to go off, but some guy, when I worked at the mall, like, came into my store, and he had, like, this little bag of cookies, and, he offered them to me. And I accepted the bag of cookies so that he wouldn't offer them to anyone else, and I waited for him to leave, and I threw them out. So I just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to offer them to someone who would take them and eat them or something. Like, who knows if they were fine or not, but I just wanted to be careful.
Yeah, and that's good looking out, okay? Like, you are a person for the people.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, because you were looking out, because somebody else would have probably ate them.
Yeah, he was, like, just one dude, maybe, like, a couple years older than me, like, in my age group, by himself. And he's just like, do you want these cookies? I'm like, sure.
Right. This is like, my stomach is too sensitive for that mess, but, you know, I would accept the cookies because you just don't know.
Exactly.
You could say, oh, no, I don't want it. And then it's just like, ooh, rage activated, and then they try to, like, hit you or something. Like,
yeah, it's amazing how we have to prepare for a man to react in literally any way possible.
Literally, catcalling, minding our own business, the internet. I did never look at my hidden replies, y'all. No. I delete them. I don't look at any of that.
Yeah, I've had some weird wrong number texts before. That's all I'll say.
The thing is, it's so weird. Another tangent, sorry, y'all, is when somebody, like, curved you, right? or they didn't really like you that way.
Mm-hmm.
But then they still have your number. And so then they're just like, oh, I got a new phone number. No, you didn't.
Oh, God.
No, you didn't. Person that you like just thought you were ass, and now you're trying to come back. But yeah, sorry. Going back to Ice Cream You Scream.
No, it's okay. Roll it on back into Ice Cream You Scream. Okay, so was I right in interpreting that both Misaki and Usui wanted to be the one to eat the ramen? Because they were both so fired up. They were just like, what, you think I couldn't finish it kind of thing?
They did rock, paper, scissors, and then she lost.
Right, so that's why I'm confused. I thought that they both wanted to eat the ramen, and then they did rock, paper, scissors, and Misaki lost, but she was excited that she got to eat the ramen. So, like, was the winner supposed to eat it? Like, it should have been Usui? I was just so confused by that.
Right, so the thing is, they thought when they got to that stand that they were eating it together.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, no problem. And then the person said, no, only one of you can eat it. So at that point, they did rock, paper, scissors. But then another part of the contest was that they had to hold hands.
Yeah.
And so since he was holding her dominant hand, then he had to feed her.
I was just confused about the rock, paper, scissors of it all, because it just seemed like they were both willing.
Yeah, because it's like they were both willing to eat it. And I think if he won, then he would have been eating it. It's just that Misaki would have had to have fed him. So I think it just moved the story along that Misaki was the one that had to eat, because she would have been too embarrassed, unless he activated her again. She would have been too embarrassed to feed him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on into the OVA?
Yeah. Oh, and also that was the last
shit.
episode.
Yeah, it was. I should probably say something significant. Oh, God. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Like, but yeah, it's the final episode.
Right. It was the finale of Kaichiwa Maid Sama. I don't have a rating off the top of my head. We're thinking about starting up a blog on our website where we type up like our formal reviews at the end of, shows and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, let us know, because I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, like, check out our website.
Yeah.
I couldn't really rate it either. I feel like when we picked this story out, it was heavily based upon nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, regardless of how many Ice Cream You Screams and Hot Fudges you heard, we were fond of the series.
Yeah.
We still sort of are.
I would overall say I do like Maid Sama, for sure.
Yeah. I prefer the manga.
Yeah.
But I still like it. Yeah. And then, obviously, since it's the last episode, I'm glad that this time when Uzui confessed, he didn't have to jump off the damn building to do it.
Yeah, he did not. He didn't open the window and jump out the whole building. We're really glad about that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll never get over that, y'all. Like,
me neither.
the whole damn building.
Oh man, I really want that on like a shirt or something.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll see.
Yeah. So with that, episode 27, the OVA time, here is our traditional ice cream scoop, hard scoop summary. Misaki ripped her maid outfit at work, and Suzuna enlists to help fix it. While wiping the floors as Suzuna works, Misaki sees repairs on the floorboards and thinks about how Usui did too perfect of a fix on it. She wonders, as we've wondered, just who is Usui Takumi? Suzuna tries on Misaki's maid outfit for fun, and the doorbell rings. Shizuko delivers a pot for Suzuna. Misaki's mom tries on Misaki's maid outfit next, as she finishes up preparing dinner. The doorbell rings yet again, and Sakura delivers a package of tea and mud daikon for Suzuna, more prizes she's won. Misaki is very embarrassed watching her mother and sister play maid in her uniform, so she ends up putting on the costume herself. Her mother asks her to get a rock from the garden, and Misaki is embarrassed to be going outside in her uniform. Of course, the second she opens the door, Hinata and Usui are right by her house. They both offer her vegetables, and they come in for dinner with her family. Apparently, Hinata was carrying a box of vegetables on the road, and the box fell open at the bottom, causing the pumpkins to go rolling down the road. Usui found one, and then ended up with Hinata that evening. Misaki asks Usui about his adopted cat, and we learn it doesn't have a name yet. After some very silly suggestions from Minako, Suzuna, and Hinata, Usui asks Misaki to pick a name. Misaki suggests Leaked, the name of the tea Suzuna won that she was serving. Usui happily takes her suggestion. At his home later that evening, Usui feeds the kitty, now named Leaked, which is German for light. After the kitty runs away from Usui at first, he just chuckles, saying how similar the cat is to Misaki. He gently calls for Leaked, who comes up and comfortably snuggles in his lap. So, there's the OVA. Did you glean a theme from that? Because I did not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't have a theme, but I do have sprinkle on top.
Yeah, what is it?
So I said, well, I guess it's just really past sprinkle on top coming back again, which is the cat.
Yes.
So the cat represents Misaki, and I feel like Uzui confirmed it in this OVA.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Right, like the cat is just like her.
Yeah.
And that even though she didn't know that leaked meant light in German, that's how he sees her. So I thought that that was perfect. And then something else that's not really a sprinkles on top, but that I noted was that, you know, in episode 25, Gianna, you said that Uzui was like a Doberman, and a Doberman, I guess, is like a German dog.
I believe so, yeah.
And so I find that interesting just because, like, technically, and I need to read the manga again, but I'm pretty sure Uzui's family is from London. But this is the second time we've seen, like, a German connection.
Yeah. This will be super quick, because this episode was only 14 minutes long or so. So, floats your boat. When Hinata and Usui came in and they were like sharing rabbit apples, which was a nice callback to earlier in the series. They were sharing the little rabbit-shaped apples, and I forget, it might have been after Misaki suggested the cat name, and Usui kind of looks at her so fondly and thinks that it's a beautiful choice, and Suzuna just turns to Hinata and goes, "You look just like an abandoned dog right now."
Yeah, I love it.
And just the bluntness and just zero hesitation was so funny.
It was funny to just see Suzuna call him out, sort of break that fourth wall. But I also thought, like, with this OVA, that it was nice that Uzui was there so that he could technically also get a full meal with her family. Because before that, he just had snacks, and Hinata had, like, a full curry meal, like, with rice and all of that when he went over to visit.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this is nice. This is evening it out a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that. I really like that.
Yeah. What else did I like? The fact that they kept trying on her uniform.
That was very silly. I was like, I'm not sure where they're going with this, but it's really entertaining.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that they were doing it to kind of show how silly Misaki is for being secretive about it, because if they were in her position, they would be nonchalant about working with Maid Latte.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting view on it. I do have to say, I was a little banana split on Maid Suzuna. I think she took it a little too far.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was really lighthearted.
Yeah, I also liked seeing Shizuku and Sakura come and do these deliveries, because it's like, oh, it was good to see them. But then at the same time, I was just like, they're such nice sisters. If my sister wasn't able to make her part-time shift, it's just not happening.
Right, oh my goodness. Like, imagine if, like, my brother had to do something at work and, like, called out. I'd be like, well, that sucks for your bosses. They're gonna have to figure it out. It ain't on me.
Right. Like, it's like, I'm not doing your job. Am I gonna get that check? No.
Yeah. I just have one more floats your boat. It was at the end of the episode when Usui was feeding the cat.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and he was saying how Misaki suggested leaked as the name, that it meant light, and he says, she probably didn't know what it meant, but sure enough, she gave me light, and my whole heart soared. Oh my god, that was so sweet.
Yes, it was so sweet. I'll admit I was a little caught up in the cat, because I like cats, because I was just like, oh, it's so cute, and everything, and then it, like, went and scratched him, and I was just like, okay, well, if licked is like Misaki, when's the softening happening? And it's like immediately, and I was just like, yes, I felt sad. I was like, it came over and it started like purring a little bit. I was like, yes.
So cute.
Yeah, so cute.
But that's all my floats your boat and banana splits. I don't know if you have anything else to add before I scream you scream.
No, I think the banana split that I have could actually be I scream you scream.
Okay, do you want to start with I scream you scream?
Yeah, so I just have one thing.
Me too.
Okay. So I didn't like the fact that we got to see more of Misaki's relationship with her mom in an unofficial episode.
Yeah.
I felt that, and I think that's something that's like you sort of get more in the manga and stuff, like her relationship with her mom and how her mom is. And I guess since they are focusing on the romance, it's like they aren't going to pay as much attention to like her family life outside of us seeing like Susanoo winning sweepstakes all the time. But I feel like it would have been nice to just see more of her mom in the series, because I honestly think that, you know, if she went to her mom about some of the stuff that had happened to her or what she was experiencing, then it would have been another way to cut through 26 episodes of confession. Like maybe it would have been cut down a little bit more if she had her mom as like guidance and stuff to talk about her feelings and everything. Because one thing family can do is like sort of call you out on your shit. And so her mom could have been like, why are you avoiding your feelings? And then kind of get to the heart of it being about her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in that conversation, you know?
Yeah, I really would have liked to see more of Minako throughout the series. And I fully agree. If Misaki truly confided in anyone, we probably would have had a more fulfilling development between her and Usui, and her mother probably would have been the perfect person to go to.
Yeah, because I feel like her friends, like, they've only known her since her dad left.
Mm-hmm.
So it's honestly, the only people who could do it would legitimately have to be, like, her sister or her mom. And I feel like having that loss of, like, touch, that family there, it just made things all the more complicated. And while she does keep stuff to herself, I feel like most of the time moms can just like see like something's wrong without you saying anything and then already be able to talk to you about it or give you advice. Maybe if Susanoo was around and not just her role being like comic relief about sweepstakes, then Susanoo could have also done it, because you see in the OVA how she calls Hinata out quick.
Yeah.
So if she can do that to Hinata, then she can most definitely do that for her own sister.
Yeah, I would like to have seen more of a sisterly bond developed between Susanoo and Misaki.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the series, I forget which episode, it might have been episode 1 or 2, it was really early on, they have that conversation on their front steps inside, and it kind of seems like they're about to have a cute moment, but Susanoo kind of cuts it short and is sarcastic, and I would have liked to see something more genuine explored between them.
Right, and like the only indication that we had of Misaki being really close to her sister in the anime was during the episode where Yukimura was dealing with his badass little sister, and then Misaki was bonding with him over his love for his little sister when they were like on that cliff and there was like the ocean and all of that stuff, and it's like, you get it, like you're an older sibling, I'm an older sibling, and then she like went along with his plan. But outside of it, it's just like comic relief bits, and I think that's something else I think that you get in the manga as well. But yeah. What's your ice cream you scream?
My only ice cream you scream is... it's really silly. We're really doing rolling vegetables again, like a third time. We can't think of something more creative to make two people cross paths outside. It has to be vegetables rolled over and someone picked them up.
It's just like, why do y'all keep eating things that are on the floor? You can't, that is more than the 5-second rule. If it was rolling down the road, like, yeah, 5-second rule, you pick it up, you can still eat it, you know, like the germs barely touch.
I know. I haven't heard that since, like, elementary school.
It's just, like, the thing about it is, like, you could do that, but, like, she drops tomatoes, and then he has to go pick them up.
Persimmons, yeah.
Hinata goes and eats the shit, and he didn't even wash it. And now pumpkins. And the thing is, for me, even if they were going to bring food, he has a box of food. Uzui is just doing Uzui business because we don't have character development enough to know why he's just randomly walking around outside. So Uzui's walking, he sees Hinata, but then he also can guess the direction he's going by, like, the neighborhood. And then he just follows him. And that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I just wish there was more of a legitimate crossing of paths. There's so many different things they could have done, but it's always just rolling vegetables.
Don't eat stuff off the floor, y'all.
No, don't eat stuff off the ground, please. Run it under some water, like thoroughly wash it.
Right.
Wash all of your produce, PSA number 15, like...
Right, because, like, y'all could get, I don't know, you can't really get salmonella and stuff, but you could get some type of disease. Like, diseases just be everywhere.
Yeah. That is actually all I have.
I only had the one, too.
Okay. Oh, does that bring us to the end?
It does.
Well, this brings us to the end of episode 9 of Shoujo Sundae and our last Maid Sama recap episode. We have something very special in store for you next week, but I want to keep it a surprise.
You guys are going to love it.
I hope.
And you're going to love it. And I'm also going to be surprised and love it. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it's just going to be super laid back. We're all gonna have some laughs, and that's all I'll say on that. I don't want to give anything away. Feel free to put your guesses across social media. You can follow us at Shoujo Sundae. We are across all platforms at Shoujo Sundae, so feel free to get in touch there. And me personally, I am at Giana_Luna_. It's Giana with one N. Where can we find you, Chika?
I am at Chika Supreme on all platforms, and that is Chika with a K and not 2 C's.
Yeah.
So,
do not forget to follow us wherever you are listening and wherever you do listen to podcasts. Any follow helps get us out there. Any 5-star review helps get us out there. We just want to build up our little Shoujo Sundae shop with as many Shoujo fans as possible.
yes.
So, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for being part of our community, guys. It means so much to us.
So with that, we will see you next week for the super secret surprise. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you then. Bye!
Bye.